Good morning, Southeast Missouri, and wherever you may be listening. This is Playbook by Alspaugh Wealth Management, and we are here live in Nashville, Tennessee, folks, this week. Yes, I'm attending a conference, and we are recording the show just to bring it to you live every week. That's what we're here. And as always, I'm joined by Mr. Tony Shore. Hello, Tony.
Hello, Brock Alspaugh. I am doing so great today, and it's great to be here in downtown Nashville. We're here at the Omni, which is attached to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And behind me, though, are some Gibson custom guitars that were played by some pretty famous people. Our viewers can see it. Listeners, you have to imagine that right above my head is a custom Lucille B.B. King guitar that he played.
Awesome.
Below that, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. John Lennon's guitar is over there, and Jimmy Page's double neck and a Jeff Beck guitar.
So those were made for these folks.
Yes.
Did they actually use them, Tony, do you think?
Yes, they did.
Did they?
Yep, they've been played. I asked. And that's why they call this room we're using to record the Gibson room. Gibson guitars are custom made here in Nashville, Tennessee. It is interesting because, they made more than one of those for Jimmy.
Right. Sure.
So he played it a couple of times and then donates it, or they auction it off for charity. And I know the Country Music Hall of Fame, even though he's a rock artist, the Omni has a lot of different artists' memorabilia around.
Okay.
So I thought it was pretty cool that we're here. Right.
It is really cool. And folks, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see a little bit about what Tony is talking about. But it really is. It's really cool to sit here and just be right next to these guitars. And this is a unique town. I'm sure many of our listeners have been to Nashville, or as some people say, Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas, yes. Yeah. Exactly.
And but it's a neat town. And what's funny, Tony, is I was here just a couple weeks ago. I was here for a wrestling tournament for my son.
You're kidding. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so second time in the last 3 or 4 weeks that I've been over here. But anyway, listen, folks, we've got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. This is going to be a fun show. But before we get into it, I want you, as always, to go to our web. Fully operational, Tony. It's got all the capabilities that we used to have. We took a little break from that because of the rebrand. Alspaugh Wealth Management, Innovative Financial Solutions is no longer. And so we're ready for 2024, Tony. We are so ready to get all of the things ready to help as many people that need help when it comes to their retirement planning. But again, that website is Alspaugh Wealth Management, all spelled out. So Alspaugh, ALSPAUGH, wealthmanagement.com. You can check out past shows. You can order my book. You can request an appointment right on the front page. There's a make a consultation. So you click that button and it gets sent to us. All your information. We'll call you, reach out to you, and schedule that complimentary meeting. All right, Tony, are you ready?
I am so ready. In fact, let's talk about, Brock, why are we here in Nashville right now? What's going on?
Yeah, so once a year, we attend the Gradient Investment.
Start there again about the financial.
Okay, the summit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're here in Nashville, Tennessee for the Gradient Financial Group Summit meeting. It's a great time of year to kind of reflect on what we were doing in 2023, what we did, and then also what we can improve on, what we maybe felt like that we were getting ideas that other offices and advisors are using that would help us, and vice versa. We give out, ideas as well on how we run our practice. So it's a great meeting to kind of reset and get ready for 2024. Also, there's new programs and new things rolling out, and this is when we do it. And so we're working on some projects in our office right now. We're not quite ready to talk about them, but yeah.
Okay.
So stay tuned, folks. I know
Okay.
you're on your edge of your seat, but yeah, no, it's a great meeting. Like you said, some of the top advisors around, and I've got the privilege to be on a producer panel here this afternoon, so that'll be fun. Talk about some of the things we do in our office to help our clients, and maybe can help someone else in the crowd. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great, and it really. A few hundred of the top advisors in the U.S. are at this financial conference, and Brock, you're one of the speakers speaking to them about what you do that works and how you help your clients. And I know that it's an exchange of ideas, and there are some top national financial minds at this conference talking, and a lot of socialization with other financial minds talking about all these changes that are coming down the pike, right?
Yeah, I tell you, sometimes you go to these meetings, if you had a career and you're retired now, you can think back to maybe some of these meetings that you went to, and some of the most beneficial things that we can do sometimes are just in a social setting. Maybe we go out to dinner with a few people, and we're talking about their business and we're talking about ours, and we exchange ideas. And it's kind of funny because those are some of the best ideas that we get out of, instead of the normal meetings that we attend and learn about new things. So yeah, it's a 2-in-1 deal where you get to see other advisors that you've become friends with. I actually travel and have regular conversations with a couple of the advisors that I've met over the years. So it's just a great time to collaborate, to share ideas, and to see people that you don't get to see very often.
Yeah. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And we're talking about financial advisors, and I think a lot of our viewers or listeners out there, Brock, and a lot of people, I know you get this question a lot. Why do I need a financial advisor? Why should somebody talk to you? Why do you do what you do, and how is that a thing? I mean, a lot of people say, I don't know if I need a financial advisor.
That is a great question, Tony. And I do get a lot of people that I've talked to and said, hey, just curious. You're here now to take care of your future. You're taking the first step in a long journey that leads you to retirement. But I just have a quick question. Why did you wait till now? And I say it in a very, sincere way. I want to know why people don't go see financial advisors before they do. And the most common answer I get, Tony, is because I don't know if I need one. So people just don't know.
Right.
What you don't know, what you don't know.
Right.
And so, yeah. So, but I have actually a sheet in my office. It's funny you asked that question. 50 reasons why you need a financial advisor. And so I'm not going to go through all 50 of those, but
thank you.
Yeah.
But hey, they're probably all important. Maybe we should at some point over the course of a couple of shows, right?
That's actually not a bad idea. But when you're talking about retirement, you're talking about investing, it's not just about, hey, I've got this 401k, I'm going to put money in. That's great. That's a good thing to do. But it's one of many steps that people need to take when they're talking about developing and implementing and updating their financial plan.
Yeah.
And so, when you're talking about things like maximizing Social Security benefits, maximizing your pension benefits, tax planning, Social Security planning, estate planning, it's that all works together. And the earlier you do these things, the better off you will be. And it's just like saving money. The earlier you save money, the more you'll accumulate. And the earlier you start your retirement income planning, the better off you'll be and understand where you're at, where you're going, and more importantly, the process as to how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Right. What are the things you're actually going to do to do that? We don't, no one likes to pay taxes, for example, Tony, but it's part of life. And so what we want to do is minimize that. Right. And so you're not going to ever get rid of taxes. There's two things certain in life, isn't it? Right, Tony?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's three certainties in life. Okay. There's death. It's going to happen to all of us. There's taxes.
Yep.
We're all going to have to pay taxes. And for me personally, pizza.
Pizza.
So for me, there are three: death, taxes, and pizza.
I knew you were going to say that. I saw it coming. I've been working with you now for however many years, and I knew you were going to say pizza. And that's something we have in common. Like, I love pizza.
Yeah, we both love pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
I had some wings last night. I tell you what, folks, when you go to Nashville, these guys know how to do some wings.
Oh, they do.
I've had wings twice, actually.
The Nashville hot wings are amazing.
They're so good.
They're so
I had no idea.
good.
I mean, when you think of Nashville food, you kind of think of barbecue, and but and they do have fantastic barbecue, by the way. But
we had some great brisket last night too.
Yeah. The wings, though, I was very surprised. I've had wings twice since I've been here, and they both have been fantastic. Anyway, enough about wings. I'm getting hungry.
You're getting off topic.
I'm hungry now.
So we're talking about the 50 reasons you need to work with a financial professional or that you provide. And so what's another thing that our listeners need to be aware of? Why is it so helpful? I mean, I've read studies, Brock, that show there's a couple of them. There's been a few independent studies that have been done that show if you work with a financial advisor, you will make at least 3% increase, and you could avoid huge costly mistakes that cost you hundreds.
That was my next one, Tony, is to one of the reasons to work with a financial advisor is to help yourself, to save yourself from yourself. And what I mean by that is that, oftentimes individual investors make bad decisions, right? And so, you buy, high and sell low, and, and the emotional roller coaster that you continue to be on, it's just, I've seen it. And there's a lot of people that just kind of surrender, and it typically is, after, the market goes down, they get all, nervous. And so they get out and they look great for another, 2 or 3 months. And when the market rebounds, they're still out, and it's just, it's a disaster. So I'm not saying you can't do it on your own. There are people that, that I've talked to that are happy with what they're doing, and they think that they don't need anybody to help them. And so, so be it. But I think most people, after they see the process and the things that they're missing out on by not working with an advisor, realize that, okay, these guys are professionals for a reason.
Right. Right. That's so funny.
And, kind of relating it specific to me and our firm, Tony, is that we really feel like we're in a sweet spot. Okay. And the reason I say that is because, I've been doing this now for almost 20 years. And so, and I'm 46. I'm not retiring anytime soon.
Right.
So you've got a guy that has been in the business for 20 years, accumulated a lot of knowledge and a lot of expertise, and yet you've got another 20 to 30 years to work with that guy. So, I mean, that's why I say, it's sometimes just a matter of time in the business, kind of like we tell clients.
Well, yeah.
It's time in the market. It's not timing the market. It's time in the market. And same thing when it comes to working with someone, not to say that someone that's only been in the business for a couple of years can't help you and do a good job, but it's, the accumulation of going to all these conferences, knowledge.
Yeah.
is big.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Yeah.
I agree, and I see that, and so why go it alone? I mean, people think, well, it's going to cost me a lot of money. It really doesn't, and there's just a fee that's baked in there, and you're very transparent about costs, and really the first couple of consultations, there's no charge for those. There's absolutely no charge. The only cost is your time, and you're going to end up knowing more about where you're at when you leave. And then if they decide they want to work with you continuing, that's great. If not, no problem, right?
Yeah. So and we do charge a fee for a financial plan. And the reason is because we have time invested in developing these plans, and
Sure.
so we do charge for that. But the point is, and I think what you were alluding to, Tony, is that first consultation to say, hey, do I need help, and am I doing the right things, and just ask a lot of questions, because like you said, first meeting to talk about your situation, there's no charge.
Right.
So to your point, you can get a lot of benefit from just meeting with us. Jason Lee in our office as well. He's been licensed now for a few years, and but's been in the business for probably as long as I have on the insurance side, and he's been an advisor now for I think 3 years with us. So there's definitely reasons that you need to at least talk to a professional about your retirement picture.
Yeah.
Speaking of retirement picture, Tony, I want to speak specifically to a segment of our listeners. So, Tony, and speaking of helping people, there is a segment of our population in Southeast Missouri. If you work or know that someone that works at Southeast Hospital, they are now under Mercy. And in that transition, Tony, the employees, many of them, I think there's about 2,400, that you're going to have an opportunity to do something with your 403B that's existing. Now, new contributions are starting to go into the Mercy plan. I believe it's with Fidelity. But the old plan with One America, you've got to make a decision to do something with it. And leaving it in there, probably not. I don't think in time, like down the road, that is going to be an option, is just to leave it with One America. They'll probably force it out to an IRA at some point. Or you can combine it and roll it into the new plan with what your options are. And this is, again, a very unique thing, because most of the time you don't have an opportunity to move money out of a qualified plan like this to an IRA until you're 59 and a half. So if you're 45 years old, you've been working there for 20 years, for example, you now at 45 have an opportunity in an IRA. We can help you do that. Okay. So is the most important thing. So give us a call at Alspaugh Wealth Management, 573-332-7855. Or again, look us up on the web to schedule that complimentary meeting with us today. It's alspaughwealthmanagement.com.
All right. Well, Brock, great show so far today. We're talking about a lot, really why you need a financial advisor, what help can they give you, and you offer so many services there. And a financial plan is more about than just what's in your 401k,
Right,
or what's in your IRA, or what stock portfolio you have, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's way beyond that. What kind of are you doing, taking advantage of the Roth? If you have the ability and you qualify to do a Roth 401k, 403b, your Roth IRA. There's just a lot of ways to take advantage of the Roth situation, which basically allows you to invest on an after-tax basis. So you do pay taxes on that money going in, but it accumulates, and then you can distribute it to yourself tax-free. So all of the gains, really, that's what we're talking about here, is the difference between a traditional and a Roth. Is the Roth accumulates tax-deferred and then tax-free eventually for withdrawals, for qualified withdrawals. The pre-tax, the normal traditional route, is you put money in, it helps you out with your taxes now. So you put it in pre-tax, it accumulates tax deferred, and then when you take it out, it's all taxable at ordinary income. So, people listening to the show that if you've listened to me before, or if you've met with me, I'm a huge proponent of the Roth option. Now, if you're closer to retirement and you are at a very high income, and you say, okay, well, I'm in a much higher tax bracket now than I will be in a few years, then keep doing the pre-tax, folks. It's not like you can't ever change your mind. It's you can actually split it up and do half and half. You can do half in the Roth and half in the traditional. So there's just a lot of options when it comes to that, and that's just one aspect, Tony, of what we do as advisors to help you save and plan for your future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, and I think this is so important, Brock. And I know that there are other things that we have to talk about that you provide for your clients. I mean, Social Security, retirement planning, and not only investments, during your working years, where and how are you saving your money? How are you getting that growth with your money? But also, with things like Social Security and retirement planning, how are you going to keep that money in retirement and make sure you have enough?
Yeah. So, when you're talking about your Social Security benefits, maybe you have a pension benefit, maybe you were a teacher and you have the PSRS through Missouri and you don't have Social Security benefits. There's just all these different situations. Maybe you have the PSRS and then you went in the private sector and worked there for 10 years or more, and now you have both that you qualify for. Well, now you've got windfall elimination provisions and GPOs, and there's just, again, I'm trying to overwhelm you to make you understand that it's complicated, and so we can make it easy for you to understand. Let us do the work for you, and make sure that we're maximizing your Social Security benefits, and then filling any income gaps in the most tax efficient, making sure that you don't ever run out of money, doing the projections on that. And so it all works together. And so, and understanding your risk tolerance, we've got the COMRA, the color money risk analysis, Tony, that we do with folks to help understand where you're at, where you're going, and how you're going to get there.
Right.
And it's one of the most, I tell you, Tony, I love this business. I love helping people. Number one, I think that's where it has to start.
Sure.
It's your why, right? Why do you do what you do? And so, but the most rewarding thing that in my profession that now I've been experiencing in the last 5 to 10 years, I didn't get to experience this in the first few, but the most rewarding thing is when that retirement date comes and we sit down and review everything, right before they go in and give that notice that they're retiring, and it's just, there's so much peace and comfort and enjoyment that comes from that for my clients, which then I feel as well, to know that I helped someone get there. And, they couldn't do it, they could, understanding that, hey, we're just a catalyst to make it happen, but they actually have to take those steps too, right? I mean, it's not just us working magic and all that kind of stuff, but it is very rewarding to lead people to the goal, and then ultimately seeing that goal come to fruition. It's really a cool thing.
I think that's great. And it's a great point. So to get a plan in place,
yes,
or if you have questions, I know our listeners out there always have questions. And Brock, you love hearing from our listeners.
I do.
And talking with them and helping with them. How can they get a hold of you for that no charge consultation?
Yeah, just give us a call, right? 573-332-7855. And here's the process, Tony. You call our office, you talk to Tracy or Danny or Danielle or Jason or myself even. And so we talk about your situation. If we need to meet, great. We send out a link to a questionnaire. You fill out the questionnaire. You come in and meet with me or Jason, or maybe both of us. And we talk about your situation. And then, we'll talk about engaging in a business relationship if that's something that we both feel is necessary, and and move on and execute that plan for you. So we'd make it as easy as possible for clients to do this and help themselves. We do it electronically. I mean, it's very easy to do. But give us a call, or you can look us up on the web. It's Alspaugh Wealth Management Click on that button, request a consultation, and we'll be a hold of you.
All right. Well, Brock, great show today, live from Nashville, Tennessee,
from
here
Nashville,
in the Gibson room with the guitars up
really
there.
Cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, and this is a great financial conference and a great topic today. How you can help our listeners out there. Listeners, pick up the phone, give Brock a call. That number again is 573-332-7855, or the website, Brock. The new website is beautiful. Give that web address one more time.
Yeah, it's Alspaugh Wealth Management, ALSPAUGH, wealthmanagement.com.
Alspaugh.wealthmanagement.com. And listeners, thanks for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of the Retirement Playbook with our host, Brock Alspaugh.